And we went up there during half term. You okay?
In a bold moment that stunned royal watchers around the world, Duchess Shoppy shook up a centuries-old tradition by seizing Queen Camilla's microphone during a high-profile event at Westminster Abbey. This surprising act not only broke the rules, but also warmed hearts and sparked lively debates about modern royalty. The shocking stand challenged old ways and revived a fresh spirit, paving the way for change in royal customs. Setting the stage at Westminster Abbey. That chilly winter evening, Westminster Abbey looked every bit the picture of timeless beauty and holiday magic. The grand old building was dressed in soft, twinkling lights, and festive garlands hung from its ancient stone arches. Guests arrived in smart attire, their faces alight with expectation and the warmth of the season. The air was crisp outside, and inside, the gentle glow of candles mixed with the sweet scent of pine. Every detail, the rustle of neatly pressed coats, the soft murmur of greetings, and the solemn hum of choirs in the distance, played its part in setting a scene that was both majestic and inviting. On this special night, the royal family gathered for Princess Kate's annual Christmas carol service, a long-built tradition that drew people from far and wide. The historic hall was filled with a mix of old-world charm and modern excitement. Friends, family, and loyal fans settled into their seats, their anticipation palpable under the soaring ceilings. Outside, many loyal admirers braved the frosty air, eager to catch a glimpse of their beloved royals and feel a connection to a living history. Everyone expected a calm, dignified celebration of heritage and warm fellowship. Little did they know that an unforgettable twist was waiting just around the corner, one that would break through centuries of protocol and send waves of energy through the room. In that charged silence, it seemed as if the event itself was about to take on a whole new meaning, one that would bridge the gap between age-old customs and the spirit of today's world. The bold act of Duchess Shoppy. In the heart of the ceremony, when events usually followed a strict, gentle pace, a moment occurred that no one could have predicted. Duchess Shoppy, usually admired for her calm grace and quiet reserve, stepped forward in a manner that left every guest wide-eyed. As Queen Camila was about to speak, Shoppy reached out with a determined yet playful look in her eyes. In an instant that seemed to stretch out, she snatched the microphone from Camilla's hand, creating a ripple of shock and excitement throughout the hall. For a few heartbeats, the room fell into a hush, heavier than the winter night outside. Every face in the crowd showed surprise and wonder. There was no anger in Shoppy's eyes, only a spark of genuine mischief and a desire to change things for the better. It was as if her brave act was a silent message, that even the most time-honored traditions can use a touch of modern spontaneity. With her arms outstretched and the microphone held high, Shoppy broke the invisible barrier of royal decorum. In that magical moment, the strict rules that had long governed the proceedings melted away, replaced by smiles and quiet chuckles among those who believed that sometimes a small act of courage can speak louder than years of ritual. Duchess Shoppy's action felt less like disruption and more like a fresh breeze cutting through the stale air of old customs. The bold move symbolized a hope that the royal world, no matter how steeped in tradition, could learn to embrace authenticity and a bit of playful rebellion without losing its deep-rooted charm. Queen Camilla's warm reaction. As the unexpected act unfolded, all eyes quickly turned to Queen Camila. Known for her poised nature and gentle disposition, Camilla could have reacted with stern disapproval. Instead, she surprised everyone. With a calm smile and a glint in her eye, she bent slightly to meet Duchess Shoppy's bold gesture. In that split second, Camilla reclaimed her microphone with a light, graceful motion. Her warm, understanding look suggested that she was not upset at all. Instead, she found the moment refreshingly human. It was as if Camilla had decided to turn a potential interruption into an opportunity to show real compassion and humor. Without a harsh word, she allowed herself to laugh softly, letting the crowd know that sometimes even formal ceremonies could have a touch of fun. Her reaction sent a clear message that while royal traditions are important, they need not be so rigid as to shut out heartfelt spontaneity. By welcoming the unexpected, Camilla bridged the gap between old customs and the modern desire for honesty and expression. Throughout the rest of the ceremony, whispers of admiration for Camilla's response floated among the audience. Many later remarked that her reaction was both dignified and delightfully human. In a world where every move was analyzed and preserved by history, Camilla's warmth and lightheartedness shone like a beacon. She showed that power could coexist with kindness, and that even the highest figures in royalty could adapt easily without losing their royal essence. This small but significant moment reminded everyone in the hall that the true strength of a leader lies in the ability to blend courage with compassion. Family and friends rallied together. Almost as soon as the microphone was boldly intercepted, the bond within the royal family became apparent. The shock of the moment was quickly softened by knowing smiles, gentle gestures, and quiet words exchanged among family members. Princess Kate, the ever-gracious organizer of the event, offered a reassuring nod to both Duchess Shoppy and those around her. It was clear that, even in the face of unexpected surprises, the family stood united. Their body language spoke volumes, reminding everyone that behind the polished exterior, the royal family was just that, a close, caring family. The other royals, from King Charles III to the younger generation, watched as if silently agreeing that a little spontaneity was a good thing. In one corner, a soft laugh or a delicate touch on the shoulder conveyed support, without the need for harsh words. Even Prince Louis, known for his playful energy, seemed to find extra joy in the sudden change of pace. The atmosphere shifted from strict formality to one of shared humanity. In that charged moment, everyone present felt a deeper connection, not only to the tradition that had brought them together, but also to the idea that rules could be softened in the light of genuine family love. Throughout the rest of the night, members of the royal family worked together to ensure that the event retained its warm spirit and did not descend into chaos. Their voices, though low and respectful, hinted at the hope for a future where royal customs might evolve with the times. The incident, rather than splitting opinions, brought the family closer. It underscored that at the heart of every ceremony was the commitment to support one another, showing that even a daring act like Duchess Shoppy's could interweave itself into a larger tapestry of care, unity, and modern thinking in a long-held tradition. The world reacts, media buzz, and social media. No sooner had Duchess Shoppy's bold act echoed through Westminster Abbey than the news raced out into the world. In today's digital age, an unexpected moment like this instantly ignited a firestorm across social media and news outlets. Within minutes, headlines blared. Duchess Shoppy shakes entire world after she grabs Camilla's mic, while online users quickly shared photos and video clips capturing that unforgettable second. Posts and tweets celebrated her courage and freshness, filling timelines with a mixture of awe, amusement, and support. Across the globe, people from all walks of life welcomed the shake-up in royal traditions. Many admired the act as a breath of fresh air, a sign that even institutions steeped in history could embrace modern ideas and little acts of rebellion. Ordinary citizens, who sometimes feel removed from the polished world of royalty, found in Duchess Shoppy a figure who was both relatable and brave. Memes began to pop up, playful jokes were shared, and thoughtful discussions emerged regarding the balance between protocol and progress. The conversation quickly turned to how such moments remind us all that rules aren't always meant to be followed without question. For some, the incident symbolized much more than a mere interruption. It was a call to let go of stiffness and embrace kindness and humanity. Everyone on social media seemed to agree that a small act of defiance could spark big changes in the way traditions are viewed. Commentators on television and radio praised the moment as a turning point, one that could pave the way for a softer, more understanding monarchy. In coffee shops and living rooms alike, the story was retold with excitement, and the collective mood was one of hopeful change, a sign that the art of gentle rebellion might be just what the world needs. A new era of royal tradition. In the days and weeks that followed, Duchess Shoppy's daring move came to be seen as more than just a fluke. It became a symbol of a new age in royal tradition. The act of boldly grabbing the microphone had broken through the strict expectations that had long defined royal conduct. It was a moment that pushed aside centuries of protocol and brought a touch of genuine humanity into the heart of an event that had always been seen as formal and distant. Observers and royal insiders alike began to talk about the significance of that moment. They noted that, While tradition was precious, it did not have to be rigid. Duchess Shoppy's simple yet courageous gesture opened the door to a conversation about the need for change, a journey toward a monarchy that embraces both its past and the modern world. Her action was not met with harsh criticism, but rather with reflections on how even well-established customs could benefit from a bit of laughter, a dash of spontaneity, and a whole lot of heart. Many felt that this was the beginning of a movement where rules might be softened and the spirit of the people brought closer to those in power. The episode inspired discussions about modern leadership, warmth in public service, and the strength that comes from a united family, even one as prominent as the royals. Slowly but surely, the incident became a turning point, a cherished memory that signaled the start of an era where old traditions and fresh ideas could exist side by side. Duchess Shoppy's brave act continued to spark inspiration, serving as a reminder that change, when delivered with genuine kindness, can truly shake the entire world.
How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous.
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
Under Queen Camilla's grand mansion, hidden deep below the ground, there was a secret tunnel no one knew about. For years, it stayed hidden, untouched, and forgotten. But one day, the FBI discovered it by accident. At first, they thought it was just an old underground path, maybe used by workers a long time ago. But as they stepped inside, the air felt cold, and something didn't seem right. The tunnel was dark and quiet, but their flashlights showed strange things on the walls, things that shouldn't be there. The further they walked, the more their hearts pounded. Then, at the very end of the tunnel, they saw something so shocking, so terrifying, that their faces turned pale. Whatever was down there had been kept secret for a reason. The tip-off that changed everything. It all started with something no one saw coming, an anonymous tip. One cold evening, a strange email landed in the inbox of an American intelligence officer. There was no sender's name, no clear details about where it came from. But the message itself was chilling. It simply read, "Check under Queen Camilla's estate. Tunnels. Secrets buried. It's bigger than you think." At first, the team thought it was a prank. I mean, who sends an email like that about the Queen Consort? But attached to that email were old, dusty documents and a few new maps. The documents looked aged, almost ancient. Some even had royal stamps and strange symbols no one recognized. But what really caught everyone's attention were the maps. These maps showed tunnels, hidden rooms, and even a marked vault. All of it sitting right under Queen Camilla's private mansion. It was so detailed, it felt impossible to fake. And that's when the FBI realized they couldn't just ignore this. What if it was real? What if there was something dangerous or illegal hidden beneath royal grounds? Why the FBI got involved? Now, here's the crazy part. The FBI doesn't normally go near royal business. That's not their area. But the tip-off wasn't just about Britain. Some of the leaked documents had connections to secret American operations, old bank transfers, and offshore accounts linked to powerful people. That was enough for the FBI to care. If any part of this connected to US soil or their past missions, they had to check it out. But there was a huge problem. How do you walk into the British royal estate without causing a global mess? The moment the FBI reached out to British intelligence, chaos broke out. Furious phone calls, secret meetings, and a lot of back and forth followed. No one knew what to do. British officials were angry, scared, and confused all at once. Can you imagine the headlines? FBI invades royal home? They knew they had to handle this quietly. So, after days of fighting and secret talks, both sides agreed on one thing. A small, hidden team of FBI agents would work with British agents. No cameras, no press, no one else would know. The search begins. The agents arrived just as the sun was setting. Queen Camilla's mansion looked calm, almost peaceful. Birds flew across the sky, the trees stood still, and everything seemed perfect. But everyone there felt it. Something was off. They started their search inside the mansion. Every wall, every room, every corner was checked. Hours passed. Nothing. The place looked clean, normal. And then they reached the wine cellar. Now, this wine cellar was ancient. Stone walls, wooden racks full of dusty bottles, and a smell of age that filled the air. But something stood out. A newly installed wooden cabinet. It was polished, clean, and too fresh for a place like this. Curious, the agents moved the cabinet. What they found made their hearts race. A small metal door, hidden perfectly behind it. No handle, no lock, just strange carvings around the edges. No one had seen this before. It took them a while, but finally they pried the door open. What greeted them was a wave of cold, damp air. The smell of wet earth and rust filled their lungs. In front of them was a dark, narrow tunnel leading deep underground. First impressions. Inside the tunnel. The tunnel felt like something out of a nightmare. It was pitch dark, narrow, and terrifyingly quiet. Every step the agents took echoed loudly. The walls were lined with old bricks, some falling apart, some looking strangely new. But what scared them the most were the symbols carved into the walls. Crowns, snakes, crosses, and strange words written in languages no one there could understand. Some symbols looked like they had been added recently. Others seemed centuries old. Then came the real surprise. Hidden among the bricks was wiring. Some of it was ancient, rusty, and covered in dust. But some wires were new, clean, and clearly put there just a few years ago. The mix of old and new made it clear. Someone had been using this tunnel. Someone still knew about it. The agents kept moving deeper. Each step felt heavier as the air grew colder. The shocking secret rooms. After what felt like hours, the tunnel finally opened up into a large underground chamber. What the agents saw next left them frozen in shock. The room was massive, almost like a forgotten underground palace. Dusty wooden tables stood around. Old books, scrolls, and maps covered every surface. Shelves ran along the walls, filled with thick, leather-bound books that looked like they hadn't been touched in hundreds of years. Some of the maps were of places that didn't exist anymore. Others showed cities, castles, and royal homes with markings and red circles. One of the agents whispered, "This is no ordinary place." They moved slowly, carefully checking everything, and that's when they found the artifacts. Strange and priceless artifacts. There, hidden in the shadows, were treasures people had only heard about in history books. Ancient swords with royal engravings, shields that carried the family crests of kings long gone, and royal jewelry, crowns, necklaces, rings, all thought to be lost in wars or stolen. Some pieces were so precious that they could change the entire royal family's history if revealed. Among these treasures, they found personal items, letters, love notes, and photographs. The photos were perhaps the most shocking. Yellowed with age, but still clear. Some showed famous royal family members in private moments. Others had political leaders from different countries, together in secret meetings, shaking hands, or even hugging. Some pictures were downright scandalous. If these photos ever got out, they could destroy powerful families, ruin reputations, and change history. The disturbing sealed door. But the worst was yet to come. In the corner of the chamber stood a large metal door. It was sealed tight, thick, and new. Unlike everything else, this door was built to protect whatever was inside. With effort, the agents forced it open. What they found was worse than anyone could have imagined. Inside was a vault, cold, clean, and terrifying. Piles of documents sat neatly stacked. Some were ancient, written on fragile paper with royal seals. Others were modern, typed, signed, and stamped. These papers were not just random files. They were evidence, proof of secret societies, blackmail, hidden deals, and crimes committed by people who ruled nations. There were documents hinting at global financial crimes, secret affairs, and even connections to scandals that the world still whispers about today. There were also mentions of Princess Diana, references to illegal operations, and proof of hidden royal family deals that had been covered up for decades. The FBI agents, trained for the worst, stood frozen. One of the agents, a man who had served in war zones, turned pale. He shook his head, unable to speak. It was too much. Too dark. Too real. Theories and shocking speculations. The discovery raised hundreds of questions. Why did this tunnel exist? Who built it? Was it for hiding treasure, running secret operations, or protecting the royal family's darkest secrets? Some agents believed it was created by kings and queens long ago to hide things they couldn't destroy. Secrets too dangerous for the world to know. Others thought it might have been updated recently, maybe even by Queen Camila herself. But then came another thought. What if she had no idea? What if she was just living above centuries of royal secrets, buried deep underground, waiting to be found? It wouldn't be the first time royals built secret tunnels. History is full of stories about kings hiding escape routes, queens protecting love letters, and empires covering up dark truths. The fallout. The moment the agents came back up, the British government moved fast. The site was sealed. Guards were placed around the mansion. Every agent involved was sworn to secrecy. Inside the government, panic spread. Meetings were held all night. Phones rang off the hook. Everyone knew. If this got out, it could bring down the royal family. There were a few leaks. Some reporters heard whispers about something strange happening at Queen Camilla's mansion. But every time they tried to follow the story, they hit a wall. Calls went unanswered. Sources disappeared. The media blackout was strong and terrifying. The tunnel's secrets had finally been uncovered, but questions still remained. Who built it? Why was it hidden? And most importantly, what else could be lurking beneath places we think we know? The discovery left the FBI shaken, but one thing is certain. This story is far from over. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on shocking discoveries like this. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think was really going on beneath Queen Camilla's mansion? Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious. Now there's news that the king and queen might be in big trouble for what happened to her. Some believe they played a part in the accident that took her life, and it has led to them being punished. This is a huge moment because it makes people wonder what will happen to the royal family now. The world is watching closely, shocked and curious, as this unbelievable story unfolds. Could this be the end of the royal family as we know it? Will the truth finally come out after so many years? The mystery of Princess Diana's tragic end has returned, and it feels like the world is holding its breath, waiting to see what happens next. The secret investigation. Now, imagine this. It's been years since Diana's tragic death. The world has moved on, or at least, that's what everyone believed. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a storm breaks loose. One evening, a mysterious video leaks online. At first, people think it's fake. It's grainy, shaky, looks like an old secret recording. But what's in that video leaves everyone speechless. It shows a secret meeting that no one was ever supposed to see. There's a man who looks shockingly like King Charles. He's younger in the video. There's also Camila, sitting quietly in the corner, listening. A man dressed like a British agent talks about removing threats to the royal family. And right there, the name Diana is mentioned. The internet explodes. News channels pick it up. Suddenly everyone's eyes are back on that dark night in Paris. Could it be that Diana's death wasn't just an accident after all? Soon, more shocking evidence starts to surface. Old CCTV footage from the tunnel appears. Footage that was supposedly destroyed years ago. But here it is, showing a mysterious black car tailing Diana's vehicle. Whistleblowers from MI6 come forward, shaking with fear, claiming they were forced to stay silent all these years. One of them confesses, "We were told this was for the good of the country." Digital forensics teams jump in. They dig up hidden letters Diana wrote. Letters where she feared for her life. She even wrote, "They are planning something, and I know who's behind it." Her words send chills down everyone's spine. DNA tests, bank transactions, and secret recordings all start to form a terrifying picture. Slowly but surely, the dots begin to connect. And shockingly, they lead right to Charles and Camilla. The world watches in disbelief. Headlines scream, "Diana's murder mystery. The royals involved?" Crowds gather outside Buckingham Palace. People chant Diana's name. The world's most famous family is now facing its darkest hour. The royal trial. And then, something happens no one thought possible. The British government announces a royal trial. For the first time in history, a reigning king and queen are being dragged to court for murder. The trial becomes the biggest event the world has ever seen. Cameras flash as Charles and Camilla arrive at the courthouse. Their faces pale, eyes heavy with guilt or maybe fear. Streets overflow with angry crowds holding posters of Diana. Some cry, some scream, and some just stand frozen, unable to believe their eyes. Inside the courtroom, shocking witnesses take the stand. Former royal aides, once loyal to the crown, now speak the truth. They describe secret meetings in the palace, hidden conversations, and orders given in hushed voices. One of the Queen's former bodyguards wipes his tears as he says, "I was told to follow Diana, to report every move. I didn't know it would lead to this." Next, a former MI6 officer steps forward. He reveals secret files, proof that the agency was ordered to watch Diana, record her, and if needed, get rid of her. The courtroom gasps. The prosecution plays a hidden audio recording. It's crackly but clear enough. A voice, eerily similar to Charles, says, "It has to be done. She's a danger to us all." Gasps fill the air. Camilla's face turns ghost white. The financial records come next. Huge sums of money moving in and out of secret accounts. Payments to agents, cars, even the very hotel where Diana stayed that night. Every piece of evidence adds another nail to the royal coffin. Outside, the nation is divided. Some still believe in the monarchy. Others demand justice for Diana. Protests break out across the country. Monarchists clash with those shouting for the royal family to be abolished. And then comes the final blow. Diana's old friend takes the stand. Tears fall as she shares a conversation they had just weeks before Diana's death. "She told me she was scared. She said, if anything happens to me, look at them. Look at Charles and Camilla." The courtroom falls silent. It's no longer just a case. It's history being made. The verdict: guilty. Finally, after weeks of shocking testimonies, the world holds its breath as the jury returns. The judge looks down, voice trembling slightly, and says the words no one thought they'd ever hear. "We, the jury, find King Charles and Queen Camilla guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, abuse of power, and obstruction of justice." For a moment, the entire courtroom is frozen. Then gasps, screams, and even cheers erupt. The judge announces the sentence. "For your crimes, you are hereby sentenced to life imprisonment. If the crown wishes, you may instead choose exile, never to return to this land again." Charles lowers his head. Camilla is seen wiping her tears, but it's too late. The damage is done. The monarchy, once the pride of Britain, is shattered in front of the entire world. Reactions pour in fast. Prince William and Prince Harry, once divided by oceans and grudges, sit side by side in the front row, their faces unreadable. Meghan Markle is seen comforting Harry, while Kate wipes her tears. It's a scene no one will ever forget. Outside, people cry, some in pain, some in joy. A woman holds up a picture of Diana and says, "Finally, she gets her justice." The monarchy, as the world knew it, is over. Global reactions and collapse of the monarchy news spreads like wildfire. Every corner of the earth is talking about it. World leaders come forward. Some express shock, others relief. The once golden image of the British royal family is now stained forever. Commonwealth countries waste no time. Australia, Canada, and others begin serious talks to remove the British monarch as their head of state. Some countries even vote right there and then. The message is clear. The crown no longer rules here. The UK streets are filled with protests. Some march with Diana's pictures, some chant her name, and some demand the country become a republic. The British flag flies half-mast, but not for the king. for the end of an era. For weeks, headlines dominate newspapers, social media, and every television screen. End of the Windsor era. The words stare back at millions every morning. Suddenly, Diana's story comes back to life. Documentaries air, new books are written, and old interviews resurface. There are even talks of posthumously declaring Diana a saint, a symbol of kindness, grace, and the people's princess forever. The nation reflects, heartbroken yet relieved. Justice has finally been served. Where are King Charles and Camilla now? So, where did King Charles and Queen Camilla go after it all ended? Reports say they chose exile. No one knows exactly where, but rumors swirl like wildfires. Some say they were sent to a secret castle in the middle of nowhere, guarded by soldiers, far away from the eyes of the world. Others believe they're locked away in a hidden royal prison, stripped of their titles, their luxuries, and their power. Years later, a secret interview surfaces. It shows a frail, older Charles. His once proud face now looks tired, worn out by guilt and regret. He whispers, "I thought I was protecting the crown, but I destroyed it." Camilla, pale and broken, is seen staring out of a dusty window. "We lost everything," she says. "Was it worth it? I don't even know anymore." Some people believe they deserve worse. Others think rotting away in loneliness is punishment enough. And somewhere, in the heart of London, stands a giant statue of Diana. Flowers cover its base every single day. Children run around it, laughing. Old women sit beside it, praying. The world remembers her not as a victim, but as the princess who won, even in death. And just like that, the story comes full circle. The mighty royals, once untouchable, are now just a memory. A warning to everyone that no power, no throne, no crown is greater than the truth. Karma took its time, but in the end, justice found its way. And Diana? She didn't just live forever in people's hearts. She became a legend, the princess who never needed a crown to rule the world. If you found this video thought-provoking, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our updates on this and other important stories. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think really happened? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.